Hi, I'm Brad from the Emmeline Ballroom, and welcome to the Emmeline Minute. Today we're going to talk about choosing your venue. One of the first questions that you need to ask about your venue is, what do I want my venue to do? With more and more brides following the trend of doing ceremony and reception at the same venue, you need to decide whether you're just looking for a venue that can handle your reception or something that can include your ceremony as well. Then what are your options? Is there just an outdoor space? And if so, what's the backup plan if the weather doesn't choose to cooperate? Hopefully there's an indoor space that's separate from your reception area, so once your ceremony's over, you don't have to wait for the room to flip. Along with spaces for your ceremony to happen, you also need to be sure that there's bridal suites available and hopefully a groom suite. Your bridal suite should be more than just the bride. It should be able to accommodate her, her maid of honor, and all her bridesmaids, and hopefully her mother or some other close relatives. Ideally, it would have its own dedicated restroom, a makeup counter, plenty of full-length mirrors, and a storage area where things like shoes and purses can be held during their ceremony. And let's not forget the guys. The groom needs a place to get ready as well, and it shouldn't be some closet somewhere. The groom suite should accommodate not only the groom, but again, his best man, his groomsmen, hopefully his father or other close relatives. It should be able to hold their clothes, have some mirrors to check the look, and ideally, a little something for these guys to do, since they usually get ready a lot faster than the girls do. So the next thing we talk about is, how big should my venue be? You say, well, I've got 200 people on my guest list, so my venue needs to hold 200. Not quite so simple. You're going to have catering staff, event staff, a DJ, a dance floor. You're going to have maybe a photo booth, your buffet. Do you want a special sweet table, a candy bar? Anything of those extra things all take up real estate. And if your venue is listed at 200 people, that usually means that it will only hold 200 people max. So you need to shop around and make sure that your venue can accommodate not just your guest list, but the additional things that you want to do on your special evening. Another area that gets overlooked is parking. Your venue should have parking that's dedicated and hopefully on site. Another important thing for you to talk about is vendor access. Now, what does that really mean? Well, obviously, can your vendors get in and out of the room comfortably? Are they going to be loading out through your party? Are they going to be loading in through your party? Your caterer will probably leave before the evening is over. Are they going to haul all of their equipment and their staff out through the middle of your guests? Another side of vendor access would be a preferred vendors list. If your venue allows open catering or open vendor access, it's a great thing, and they probably really have some great suggestions for you. So what does room for all really mean? Well, for example, if you have to tear down the buffet in order to set up the cake table and tear that down in order to be able to access the dance floor, then all of a sudden the venue is dictating the order of your evening rather than you. Another area to ask about is your lighting. The overhead lighting in the room should dim, and hopefully it will dim in zones, so that, for example, an area over the dance floor could be darker later in the evening, and the area in the back of the hall might be a little brighter for those who want to visit and finish some dinner. Is there accent lighting? Is there uplighting in the room, or special lighting for the head table? All of this type of lighting can add a beautiful, dramatic effect to your evening. Another thing to ask is, what's included in my venue? Are the tables and chairs part of the rental price? Are linens included? Are there centerpieces available for me to use? What about the audio visual? Is that included, or is that a separate charge? Lastly, let's talk about extras. What's an extra? Well, your venue may have a deck, your venue may have a garden area, a picture spot. There may be certain accessories that you can use along with the room free of charge. They may or may not be deal breakers, but it's always nice to know if those things are available and what you can do to augment your evening. There'll be a lot of other factors that come into play for you, such as location, the overall price that fits in your budget, as well as just your personal aesthetic choice on the room. But if you look at some of the things we talked about today, you can absolutely narrow your search to venues that will do the job that you want to make your night as special as you always dreamed it would be.